7 weather with meteorologist Erika Delgado.
All right, South Florida, steamy conditions. We're seeing our temperatures on the rise, and a lot of us now mainland in 89 degrees already. Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Hialeah, all at 89 degrees, 87 in Miami, and 88 degrees in the Homestead area. Florida Keys, 90 now in Cudjoe, 87 from Marathon, Isla Mirada, and Key Largo. That goes for Key West as well. We've had a few spotty showers push through the upper Keys, some around the lower Keys, but overall a drier start to our morning today. And so far we've been dry. We see one showers just to the south of Homestead, but more showers just off of our coastline and about 40 miles east of Miami Beach. Some of these showers are producing some gusty winds offshore up to about 30 knots or so. And you can see they're beginning to drift a little closer to our coastline. We'll have to wait for that wind to turn out of the east as we've been talking. So of course we've been keeping a close eye the last few days on Tropical Storm Erin, its whereabouts, and the weather features are going to allow for that to continue to go towards the west and eventually take a turn. And what's going to keep it away from the U.S.? Well, in order to find that weather feature, we have to go way out over Canada here across the Pacific Northwest, where we have an approaching front. This is the front that's going to influence Erin's long-term track as we go about into next week. So we'll follow this front in this area of low pressure as we work our way through the weekend now. Then heading into next week, it'll be along the eastern seaboard. Exactly how early it gets there will determine how far west or not Erin is able to move closer to the U.S. Of course, if it moves in closer, it'll go a little closer to the east and it'll make that turn earlier. But it looks like right now, a lot of the models are suggesting that this front is going to keep Erin away from the Atlantic seaboard. Now, what we do know for sure is that Erin is moving now into warmer water, so we're going to continue to see that strengthening in the days to come. And again, here are those forecast models well in agreement that eventually it's going to turn towards the northwest due to weakness of that area of high pressure that we find way out in the Atlantic, and eventually it's going to find that weakness and be able to turn towards the north. But you can see that turn could be as far east as near Bermuda, but it could also be a little closer to the Atlantic seaboard of the U.S. So definitely something to watch across all of the islands, as it will be coming awfully close to the northern Leeward Islands and the Greater Antilles, and of course the Bahamas and really Bermuda and the Atlantic seaboard we need to watch heading into next week. No advisories for Miami-Dade and Broward, offshore, Biscayne Bay, a light chop. Florida Keys, coastal waters, smooth to a light chop with a high tide happening in Fort Lauderdale. That's coming up at 12:51 this afternoon. And this afternoon, we can expect our highs to reach the low 90s. It'll feel like the triple digits with maybe an isolated shower or storm, eventually fizzling into this evening, and then below average rain chances continuing through the weekend. And that's your 7 on 10 forecast.
Your storm team tracking Tropical Storm Erin getting stronger as it moves across the Atlantic. Meteorologist Erika Delgado is live in the Weather Center with the latest on Erin. Erika.
Well, Lorena, just days ago we were talking about a system that was way on the other side of the Atlantic, but it's been racing towards the west across the Atlantic. Here's where we find Africa and the Cape Verde Islands, and now, as of the 11 o'clock advisory, less than 900 miles from the northern Leeward Islands, so moving closer and closer to this side of the ocean. So here's the latest. The 11 o'clock advisory did show a strengthening system. Winds are now up to 60 miles per hour. So this is a high-end tropical storm that we're dealing with now. We talked about how it would continue to strengthen in the days to come once it moved into warmer waters. It is still moving towards the west at 17 miles per hour. So those warmer waters compared to where it was earlier this week, those lighter colors, a little cooler, now the deeper shades of red, warmer sea surface temperatures, and that's exactly where Erin is beginning to move into now. High pressure to the north is still steering Erin and will continue to do so through the next few days. So it'll continue moving towards the west. Now this area of high pressure is going to begin to strengthen, which means it's going to begin to shrink just a little bit. And that's going to cause Erin to eventually take that turn that we've been talking about. Tomorrow it's forecast to become a hurricane, so a little earlier than it was showing earlier in the week. And by the upcoming weekend, we could be looking at a major hurricane just to the north of the northern Leeward Islands and really through the entire islands itself. So closer look at that cone. By the upcoming weekend, we're talking at a powerful Category 2 hurricane coming awfully close to a lot of these islands, the Virgin Islands, the Greater Antilles, possibly by Sunday, a major hurricane. Any deviation where this system falls within the cone would mean greater impacts for portions of the islands, of course, especially as we continue into early next week. And the reason I mention that is because as we look at the chances for feeling tropical storm winds, look at the islands, northern Leeward Islands, the Greater Antilles. Right now, they fall anywhere between a 20 to 30% chance chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. If this system were to curve just a little more to the south, we could now be between the 40 to 50% chance of seeing those tropical storm conditions for many of the islands. So this is something that we'll have to watch. Islands, Bahamas, Eastern Seaboard, and Bermuda for the next few days. A closer look at Aaron and your local forecast that's coming up in just a few minutes.